Welcome back. June is National Cancer Survivor Month, and today we are talking about the importance of advocating for your health, especially as women when it comes to cancer screenings. So joining us today, we have Jessica Baladad, who is a 5-year cancer survivor herself and is now an advocate for women globally. Thank you for being here.
Grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
It's so important because I do feel like as women, we put ourselves last on the list a lot of times. Does that mean our health goes last too?
I have found that in the women that I speak to, they do put everyone else first, putting themselves last, and that sometimes we just miss out on our health and taking care of ourselves.
I could see that because it would be really hard to see something small. I know we're going to talk about breast cancer in a minute, but if you overlook just even the smallest bump, now you're years down the road and you could have caught it earlier, right?
Absolutely. That's something that happened to me. You know, I was in the habit of doing self-exams since I was in college, and then I was performing a self-exam, found a lump, and it was diagnosed as breast cancer.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So what was your journey like after you found that?
So got diagnosed, went through 16 rounds of chemotherapy.
Oh my goodness.
I had a double mastectomy, 24 rounds of radiation, a hysterectomy, and a 10-hour flap reconstruction where they took fat tissue and blood vessels from my stomach and placed them in my chest to recreate my body.
Wow. So you are now on a mission to try to help other women before it gets to this point, right? You have something called Feel for Your Life. What is this? This is an app you've created?
This is an app that I created during the pandemic. I was working for the NFL, and I learned then that women were missing their screenings. So I was working on their Crucial Catch campaign. They came to me and said, hey, share your story, and we want to encourage women to get screened. And so I said, well, you know, what's going on? You know, they said women are missing their screenings, and we want to make them more empowered to still go get them in spite of the pandemic. And I thought, well, I found my lump while performing a self-exam. So I came out with Feel for Your Life as an app. I wanted women to know how to perform self-exams, track their progress, and set monthly reminders.
We're showing some video of how that app works. There's so much to it, right? Where, you know, you don't have to remember it all. You can go to the app and it leads you through, including an AI component. Now, I always feel like AI is kind of scary, right? But it can be used for some good too.
Yeah, so it really excites me actually. Whenever AI became popular over the past few years and people were talking about it more, I knew this is something that I wanted to incorporate in my app, because I knew that at screening facilities and in the medical community, they were using AI to help with better prognosis, diagnosis, and whatnot. So I'm like, I want to take away some of that fear. I want to bring AI into my app. So what you can do, it's called Breast Friend AI. And you can take your mammogram reports, your screening reports, your lab reports, place them into Breast Friend AI, and it'll translate them into terms that you understand, because those pathology reports are very confusing. And they're written for medical providers to communicate with one another. So it'll translate it into terms that you understand and give you questions to ask your provider so that you don't feel lost or in the dark, and feel empowered in what you're making decisions for in the future.
That was an easy copy paste. Now I get it, what that AI tool was doing. You're here in Washington, D.C. I know you're an advocate for so many women. You've been on the Hill, right, fighting for legislation. What are you working on now?
Yeah, so I've been with a group called Patients Rising, and they're passionate about empowering patients to have better and more affordable access to healthcare. And what I've been doing is working on something called the Access Act, which would allow women or anyone who has an exchange plan through the healthcare exchange use their subsidy that they may receive towards an HSA, so they can pay for things like screenings, devices, things that wouldn't always be covered by their health insurance.
Did you ever imagine when you got your diagnosis you'd be here? Like, this is a whole life mission for you now.
Nuts. I never said, hey, when I grow up, I'm going to get breast cancer and create this app and do all of this advocacy when I grow up. That was not on my bingo card at any point.
But thank goodness you did, and you've turned it into this power for good.
Yes,
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We all need this, right? We all need to be advocates for our own health. So you can learn more by going to feelforyourlife.com.